What's all the fuss about? Never, ever, ever in doubt. You know what? That performance yesterday highlights to me why we got a very, very, very fucking good chance of playing Premier League football next year. Because the character this group quite clearly has is second to none. Sheffield Wednesday weren't fucking moving from their 6 yard box when they scored their first goal since Boxing Day, and rightly so, because we would do the same if we were in their position. But so it was down to us to break them down, and eventually we did. Was it the prettiest game? No. Was it? Did we play the best? No. But at this stage of the season, it's all about just getting over the line. And the way we got over the line yesterday highlights to me that we're in this race for the long haul, and we just keep moving. It is what it is, but we managed to get the job done in the end, and that's a sign of a very, very, very good football team. Hello, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to our post-match analysis video for yesterday's very, 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 very scrappy affair at Hillborough, where we have got over the line by 2-1. This is going to be more of a message because realistically it was never going to be the 4-0 I predicted. Realistically, we know Sheffield Wednesday are fighting and already now relegated. But I want to highlight the character of this group because that just highlights to me, that performance highlights to me why we have a very, 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 very good chance of playing Premier League football next season. Because in my preview, in my prediction, I said avoid being a laughing stock, and we was the laughing stock up until the moment Jamal Lowe put the ball in the back of the net. Their first goal since Boxing Day. But I just think it was always going to be a scrappy affair. It was always going to be a game of cat and mouse, stay composed, keep on the ball. And we did dominate, but without dominating. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Because Sheffield Wednesday was sitting in their 6-yard box. They didn't have any interest of engaging Millwall Football Club, really. They didn't have any interest. They were just sitting in their 6-yard box, and that become even more deeper. They sat even more deeper when they got their first goal since Boxing Day. And I'm not sitting here saying they shouldn't have done that, because we would have done it if we were in their shoes. But we were off it yesterday. We were off it. I don't think Bannon he done okay. I think it was an okay performance, but we got ourselves in some wonderful areas, and we should have been 2-3-0 up really before we actually turned the game around. Crocombe, like I said, now he should be dropped. He's done well over the recent weeks, but he's got to be gathering that in. Doesn't gather it in, and there's Jamal Lowe to put then 1-0 up for first goal since Boxing Day. The place goes mental, and we're thinking like, oh, this is the same old Millwall. But let me just jump into the first half again. Sorry, we just didn't. Everything we done, I think we had a little bit of nerves to everything we done yesterday. Every pass that we done, I think it had nerves attached to it. In front of goal, I thought we were a little bit nervous. I think we were passing the ball just ahead of our players. It was a scrappy affair, and it was always going to be. But we've managed to get the job done again. We're sitting third in the Sky Bet Championship table, with Middlesbrough and Coventry to host each other tomorrow. So look, we can't complain. What is there to really complain about? And performances like that, and still winning games of football, shows that you are a good team in this division. And potentially onto a winner, onto doing something very, very special come May. But we should have scored in the first half. No doubt we should have scored in the first half. We were getting the ball to Femi Aziz. I thought Femi Aziz looked a little bit leggy and tired yesterday. Same with the midfield, really. I don't really think that it was as effective as it should have been. But credit to Wednesday, because we already knew at the start of play that they're down, they're relegated, they're playing League One football. But they was always going to make it a scrap. They was always going to tie and waste. They was always going to take time with throw-ins and slow the game down. And it was down to us to break down their very, 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 very deep block. And eventually in the second half we did. I thought we looked a little bit better when Negley went into the midfield and he was getting on the ball a little bit. Bannon got replaced. I thought he was okay, but I want to see more from him. The jury's out for me whether he is still a number 10 or not, but he's a good player and he will get better now, especially that game's out of the way. But I thought the game changed immediately when Watson come on. He was picking the ball up, he was driving at the fullback, and he's the one that created the panic into the box. It was a bit of a scrappy goal, really, scrappy affair into the box. Flashed across the box. At first I thought it was Doherty, but it is Watson, and he causes panic. And the Sheffield Wednesday player, not a fan, puts it into his own net for 1-1. And then from there, we had the bit between our teeth. We looked a little bit of a better footballing unit, and we managed to get the win. It is that man, Macaulay Landstaff of all people. Wonderful finish, Macaulay. Wonderful finish. It's Femi Aziz again. Delicious ball. At the heart of everything. That was good since after we scored the equaliser. He come into his own. The whole team really come into his own. We had the bit between our teeth and we managed to get the job done. It's a wonderful finish. Macaulay Landstaff peeled off his defender front post. Thanks for coming. And that is the only thing I think Femi really done. I thought he had an off day, but it's okay because you can't really perform at your best every single week. Yes, we could. I wanted to see more goals in the first half. It was nearly 3-1. Ivanovic spins one on the volley, spins, and he just hits the underside of the crossbar and bounces out millimetres from 3-1. But after we equalised, like I said, we look good. We look hungry. We were starting to get on the ball, and we started to turn out. But it is what it is because we got to take into consideration the situation that Sheffield Wednesday in. They scored their first goal, probably buzzing. Can't believe they scored a goal, and they're gonna sit deep, and they're gonna make it hard. They're gonna frustrate us. And it was working, their game plan, whatever their game plan was. But eventually, we huffed and puffed and broke them down, and it finished 2-1 at Hillsborough, and we're third in the table. Sorry if this Postmates is not really at the full details it should have been, but it was a scrappy affair. But we got the job done, and credit to the manager, credit to the fans, credit to this team, because to win like that shows that we are gonna in a good place and on to a winner. So look, I'm going to leave it here and onwards and upwards. Come on, you lads.